Hello, welcome to Explore English. Today we're going to discuss the 5 minor parts of speech. In our last episode, we discussed the 4 major parts of speech: nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Today we're going to talk about the 5 other parts of speech. They are pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and determiners. Let's get started. Our first part of speech today is pronouns. If you remember from the first video about the 4 major parts of speech, an adjective describes a noun, but a pronoun replaces a noun. We have many different pronouns that we use. We have subject pronouns. Subject pronouns are used as the subject of a sentence. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Subject pronouns do the action. I go to the beach every Saturday. Who goes? I go. I am doing the action. So, subject pronouns do the action, and object pronouns receive the action. Object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, them. So, if it's the subject of a sentence, you're going to use a subject pronoun. I like pizza. The subject of the sentence is I. I like pizza. If it's an object, you're going to receive the action. You don't do the action of the verb. So, my mother wrote a letter to me. My mother wrote a letter to him. We call these personal pronouns. They're subject pronouns, object pronouns. Stay tuned for a future lesson where we talk about subject pronouns and object pronouns and how we use them in a sentence. It all depends on the verb. We have 2 types of possessive pronouns. One is considered an adjective. So that's my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. The other type of possessive pronouns are definitive pronouns. They're hard pronouns. So it's mine, yours, his, hers, its, theirs. So those are the 2 type of possessive pronouns or a possessive adjective. If you remember from the first lesson about the parts of speech, adjectives describe the noun. Dog is the noun and my is the adjective. It's describing the dog. This is similar to a pronoun, but they are considered adjectives. Our next pronoun is relative pronoun. They replace a noun, they talk about a noun that came usually before it. So, there's the man who lives upstairs. This is the remote which controls my TV. This is the place where I teach English. There are 5 different relative pronouns. Who, which talk about people. Which talks about things. Where, which talks about places. When, which talks about time. And whose, which shows possession. She is the girl whose dad bought her a new car. Stay tuned for a future episode where we discuss relative pronouns and relative clauses. Our next category is prepositions. Prepositions show location. They tell you where something is. The ball is on top of my head. The ball is above my head. The ball is next to my head. The ball is in front of my head. The ball is behind my head. The ball is below my head. So, prepositions tell you where something is at. Let's move on to our next part of speech. Our next part of speech is conjunctions. Conjunctions connect things. So they connect nouns. I like pizza and bagels. I like movies and books. Both of these nouns are connected by the conjunction and. I like chocolate, but I don't like vanilla. I want pizza or ice cream. I like to eat pizza and I like to go to the movies. That's one sentence, but it's connected by a conjunction. I could make them two separate sentences. I like pizza. I like movies. Native English speakers like conjunctions. We use them in lots of sentences, and when we speak, when we write. It sounds a bit crazy if you just say every sentence as a short, simple sentence. I like cooking. I like eating. I don't like washing the dishes. It's better to put these sentences together using conjunctions. I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing the dishes. It's good to use conjunctions to form longer, more elegant sentences. Native speakers do not speak in short, broken sentences. But let's get to our next part of speech. Our next part of speech is interjections. Ow! That's an interjection. Interjections show feeling and emotion. Have you ever looked at a little puppy or a baby and you say, "Oh"? That's an interjection. Other examples of interjections are, "Yikes! Yahoo! Yay!" When I'm cooking and I touch something hot, ouch! Ouch! My team won? Wow! These are interjections. They describe emotion and feelings. Our last part of speech today is the determiners. Determiners give a little bit more information about a noun. So adjectives describe a noun and determiners just tell you more about the noun. Some examples are articles, like a, an, and the. These tell you if it's a singular noun, like a computer, like any computer in the world, general computer, or the computer, like this is the computer I own, or if there's just one of them, like the White House, the Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China. We'll talk a little bit more about articles in a future lesson. We also have demonstrative determiners, like this, that, these, those. This and these tell you it's something close by, something that you recognize, right? Like that's close to you. Like this phone, right, that I'm holding in my hand. That phone is yours. So this is mine. That is yours. These are mine. Those are yours. We also use determiners to talk about quantifiers, like how many, a few, a little, much, many, a lot, enough. Numbers. Numbers are also considered quantifiers. 1, 2, 3, 20, 30. 30 dogs. Determiners give more information. They don't really describe it, but they give you more information. So these are the 5 minor parts of speech. They are the pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and determiners. Stay tuned for future lessons where we dive a little bit deeper into each one of these parts of speech, but now you have a basic idea of the 9 parts of speech. If you haven't looked at the previous video I made about the 4 major parts of speech, please watch that so that way you can understand the 9 parts of speech. All words in the English language can be categorized into each one of these parts of speech. This is a very important part of learning English grammar. Stay tuned for our future lessons where we talk about ways that you can not just learn grammar through this channel, but ways that you can improve your English at a faster pace, and how you can use your very little time in the day to really learn English. If you enjoyed today's lesson and would like to see me make more English lessons for you, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Or, if you're interested in private lessons, send an email to exploreenglishlessons@gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook at Explore English. The Facebook handle is @ExploreESL Online. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.